Hola, bonjour, and welcome back, ladies. You are listening to Worldwide Tea. It is the only podcast where every single week we recap every single season of the international iterations of RuPaul's Drag Race. And as always, I'm Evan Sadi from Pop Matters.
I'm Gregory Ellwood from the playlist and often the LA Times. Look for me soon there.
Yeah. Yeah, and hey,
Yeah.
everybody, we're near the end. It is wrapping up. Well, we're down to the last two episodes, the finale, not finale, that
Venus
is
Swamp.
Drag Race Slaysian Royale. I am just beaming, Greg. I think this is such this is such a good season overall. I'm having a good time. How you feeling at it? We're right near the end. What's popping? How's this ranking for you?
I am very satisfied with the season. I think it's a really great season. I think that I in general have no problem with the top four. I think Kiana sort of like had her own journey and maybe
Hmm.
at the beginning it would have been like, wow, why is Kiana not here? But what happened happened, and these four are fine and good and like talented and stars, and I'm all for it. It would have been great if Kitty Spice, Space made it further, but like it is what it because if you keep checking her Insta, her runways were utterly incredible. But it is what it is. Maybe they'll bring her back for Slaysian Royale 2 or 3 or Down Under versus the World 2 or
I
3 or 4. You never
Yeah,
know.
that's it. Down Under vs. the World. We're all looking for it. But before we talk about something as lovely as Down Under vs. the World, in this House of Love, know that we believe that all drag is valid and no queen ever deserves online hate. And as American entertainment journalists, we may not get every reference and always appreciate corrections. And there are some truly great queens who aren't good at Drag Race, but you know what? We love
Yeah.
them all the same. We love them all the same.
And also at the beginning of this podcast, if you are not following us either on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please follow us. You can also follow us on social media too, but like that's how you find out about your podcast is signing up. And
Hmm.
also on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, if you could give us a review, it would be freaking awesome. We'd so appreciate it. We don't get paid for this, and we're not
We
trying to make
don't.
money on it, but we want more people to listen. And we're so excited that so many people have watched and listened for Slaysian Royale, and we'd hope that you join us on our journeys on Drag Race UK and Drag Race España, and soon Drag Race Canada.
Oh,
So,
that's right.
that's right. It's almost here, almost coming. And there's some
You
legends
know
on
it.
that season. It's going to be really interesting. Some Canadian legends. So,
Kitten
that's,
Caboodle comes back.
oh yeah, exactly. But this episode,
This episode.
the queens come back into the workroom after they've sent Kiana home,
Mhm.
and I don't even really remember what happens. Do you remember what happens at that point?
So the biggest thing is that Arizona, I think, very pointedly talks about like Kiana's run on this season has been interesting in the way that only Arizona could possibly say it. I mean, this is the
Yep.
thing where I think a lot of people were just kind of surprised because Kiana is Miss Confidence, Miss
Yeah.
Overconfidence, Miss what. So just like to see her crash out was interesting, but it was kind of nice because again we noted it in the last episode that we covered, but the queens really have kind of rallied around and embraced Suki, and that's just been like one of my favorite
Yes.
things. And it's so cool too because Suki, it's very clear that she's been picking up little loan words here and there. She knows a little bit of like basics Tagalog at this point, and it's just like, yes, this is what you want to see. Like she made the case for herself by being who she is, and that was really the best thing.
And I sort of remember and made notes from the episode when they came in the next morning, and Suki, unless I missed anything else from like their walk, that
Mhm.
them cleaning off the makeup mirror. Was there anything else?
Oh, no, nothing for
That was
that.
it.
No.
But the things that I noticed were they're all talking about how they're all there, and Suki, verbally, finally says that she feels like she proved herself in the last
Mhm.
episode to make it to the final, and she deserves to be there. She absolutely deserves to be there. She actually should have done, I think we've talked about this better in earlier episodes and like sort of a safe or not high. Um, and then Arizona has this moment where she basically says, like out loud, that Venus and Brigiding are the top two. And I was a
Mhm.
little surprised. That was a very humble moment for Arizona, and I wasn't really expecting it. But I don't know if she is convinced she's not winning or she was trying to like, I'm not saying she's playing mind games, but if she was just
Yeah.
trying to like sort of joke around with them. But like, because let me tell you, Venus definitely thinks she's top two. Like that's
Yes.
definitely that's happening. But what did you think of those sort of like comments?
I think it was Brig who said very specifically, I had it written down. I didn't see Arizona in the top four, and which was kind of like
Yes.
bold, but it played into the narrative that's been going on this whole time, and it kind of lays out the groundwork for the story that happens this episode of the fact that Arizona, still to this day, it happened. She mentioned on her intro, and it's kind of still now, feels like the leftover runner-up because the other runner-ups that have happened on this show, Marina Summers and Kiana, are iconic, and she just felt like she never got that same level of respect. So it was kind of a nice little setup, but also again, it's the Pinoy girls. They're going to be a little bit,
Yeah.
poking and teasingly honest with each other in a way that some of the American girls just simply are not. Frankly, quite
But
not.
but we should say Brigiding was actually super humble at this moment. She had a whole
Hmm.
sort of like diatribe where she talked about how she didn't originally see herself in the top four. She admitted it to all of them, and now she's ready for the crown. But she is so happy she had just sort of that she could even make it to the finale, and now she wants to win. But like she was humble. I thought it was very like this is why I love Brigiding. Like she always. I mean, this is why I liked her in the first season too. Like I sort of I still do not understand the storyline that they keep going with that I do not understand, and I'm sure our fans will let us know, where somehow she was, not I don't know. The season one storyline for Brigiding seems to be a lot of revisionist history for what actually appeared on the screen, but we weren't there, so who knows?
Yeah.
The one
Of
other
course,
thing go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was about to say, like, if you're looking at track record though, if you just on the the wiki one of
Yeah.
the first 8 episodes, her placements, Brigiding's placements were high, high, safe, win, 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 high. So it's like she's she's actually done. This is almost like truly, if you think about it, this is like a Kiona level run. Like this is like
It's
I
drag
kind of
Sethless.
kinda like it's
Yeah.
just like actually kind of nuts when you put it right next to each other. I just was like, oh shit, yeah, it's really she's doing really really good. Yeah,
Didn't Christian Prialta have this moment? Like, wasn't this like,
yeah. Christian
or
Peralta
have
with her
we?
fucking 5 wins. Yes, I. How can I remember the joys of Drag Race Mexico? Wait, I mean, who is the star
Yes.
that came out of that? It was Galavero. Is she cast in the RuPaul Drag Race movie? No,
No,
she's not. But
the star was Matraka.
Matraka
That's
Chaka.
the Matraka's the star. I
Wink
don't know. I hope
wink.
we see her on a season someday, somewhere soon. But the one other thing before we have Mama Pao come in, Arizona gives Suki some love for being the mother of all of them. Suki is 31 years old. Okay. And Ariz
Mother material.
and Arizona and Brigadine and I think Venus too are all 3 years younger than her, which means at one point during the year they were only 2 years younger than her, and they are calling her mother. It is
Uh-huh.
bizarre. It is like it blows my mind that they
I
keep
mean,
doing this thing.
we're in gay circles, Greg. There are some people that are just like Addison Ray, you're so mother right now. I'm like, she got her driver's
Okay.
license. I'm sure a couple of years. I'm like, listen, but these things happen. So, but
Mhm.
also, age ain't nothing but a number, as a great
That's true.
philosopher once said. And it's the
So
thing where look,
you're aging up, Suki. You're aging her up. Like she's really
but
a 45-year-old soul. Like she's not.
but like low key, I do feel like because of the way that the Benoit girls like they just have such a base level of teasing and joking and playing around. There is a degree of like kind of just like maturity that kind of belies her. So it's actually kind of some of my favorite moments of this season have been when she's let loose and been a little goofy or decides to go ahead and make out with Brigading in the middle of a lip sync in the front of the stage.
Mm,
Like, is she all like when you remember when she entered the workroom of Canada's Drag Race season 2, she was a little snippy, she was a little pointed, but like I'm not sure she was kind of playing a character almost. And then when she
yeah.
came back for her mentorship later on in Canada 5, like she was mature, she was developed, and so like I kind of see what they're seeing. Kind of see what they're saying. Like yes, there's a few years difference, but she just feels like the most mature person in the room, and that's not for nothing, truth be told.
Well, listen, she owns a business. She's having to pay Canadian like business taxes. It's like always in the back of her mind. Like, did she make the
Hmm.
payment that quarter? Um, but more importantly, Mama Pao comes in, Evan,
Hmm.
and preponderate. Like
Preponderate.
preponderate. Uh, but she lets the queens know that they are going to be having a feast. I don't know if I the it's the Boogle fight.
The boodle
Uh,
fight.
Boogle Boodle or Boogle?
I had
Boodle.
boodle. Boodle
Oh,
fight.
okay.
Like
Um,
poodle with a B.
but they're going to have a wonderful meal. And by the way, they really did eat. Like there
They
was real
actually
food. Yeah.
did. Fuck this Tic Tac lunch shit. We
Yeah.
actual meal. We're having actual drinks. Let's go fucking go for it. Let's happen.
And they're going to have a chit chat with the one and only Karen, who will be interviewing them, having, as far as we know, not really watched the season, which I was sort of like, she
That
wasn't
was so
there.
weird to me. Right. But listen, as we know, Jervy Khaled Karen Wrightson has seen all, the
Yes.
award-winning actress. So I believe in her foreseeing powers. I'm sure she was filled in by
Yes.
producers about some
And
things. Yes.
and I will say she asked really good questions. Like I
Yeah.
know she was really, I mean, I know she does
She
like
was
media
driving it.
reporting and stuff. Like she was
Yeah.
great. She was really good.
Yeah.
Arizona is up first.
Hmm.
And Arizona says that she got over being the forgotten runner-up and
Hmm.
has come to, that unlike Kiona and Marina, that she was sort of, everyone always forgot that she was the runner-up to um Captivating Cat, and I don't know why
Hmm.
anyone would forget who was the runner-up to Captivating
We'll be
Cat.
reminded real soon.
Maybe we're just forgetting that all happened and that Jade Soto had already left the season.
Yeah.
But she says, "I want to be me," and I love that. I felt like she was at peace with everything where she was. Also, she got a ton of screen time, like for these interviews. Not all of them got as much as she did. Did you think of
Hmm.
anything? Did anything pop from Arizona's interview with Khaled and Mama Pao?
No, you really hit on the runner-up comparisons, how she come into her own. And low-key, I've been happy for her too. She's still, I'll be honest, like even with her fashion queen redemption last week, she still feels like the prop queen. But also, I feel like she's comfortable with being the comedic queen. Like she's had a pretty good package, but the one package we'll talk about later on actually kind of maybe changed my entire mind. But yeah, it was a good sit down. Yeah.
You might even say she's an acquired taste. She might even be the required taste. I mean,
Maybe.
by the way, that's a great tagline. Like I sort of love
Yeah, I
that.
thought
She's
it
the
was good.
required
Yeah.
taste. The retired taste queen. And then I didn't realize we were doing a photo shoot, but we're doing a photo shoot
Yeah. I
that
kind of
was
thought
sort
it
of,
was cool
it
with
was
Seven.
good.
Seven. Hi,
He's
Seven.
a hi Seven.
I know.
Seven
Is
sometimes posts photos of himself on his work like Instagram. You can
well,
find
you
them
know what
there.
seven's between? 6, 9. Sorry,
Oh, it's almost the
right
weekend.
there. I know.
Um, Up next is Brigiding,
Brigading.
and she
Yep.
brings lemons to Karen and Mama Po. I do not know what that means culturally, but they loved it. They thought it was very cute.
And
Am
I
I
was in the
missing
Philippines.
some?
I didn't get any lemons, so I'm
Like,
unaware. Commenters, tell us about the lemons.
and again, Brigiding goes through this whole thing where she was arrogant before season one. She thought she was a star, and she says that she learned on that season that learning is the new winning. That by
Hmm.
losing on season one, she learned that it was the new winning. I just thought all the queens ganged up on her, and that the judges just decided they didn't want her to be in the finale, even though she'd been killing it the entire season. But what did I know? It was their first season. They were figuring the show out, and it clearly played mind games with Brigidine.
Hmm.
But she did say it led to a rebirth and a rebranding for her. She said rebranded, but I'm going to say rebranding. What did you think of
Hmm.
Brigiding's interview with Karen and Mama Pao?
It's she so when she talked about how she was basically kind of a big star, kind of a big fish in a small pond, and then it was the season one experience that humbled her. But the thing is, not to jump ahead too much, Venus also talks about this.
Mm-hmm.
Venus also talks about how being on the season, Brig was losing a bit of her shine and how proud she was of her, which is wild to take up some of your interview time to talk about another queen, as we learned from Plain Jane season 16 during the podcast episode. Maybe don't waste your time talking about other queens when you could be talking about yourself and selling your brand. Who knows?
Yeah,
But it is interesting where it's like I guess she had talked about it previously in other episodes, but I don't think to this degree. And it was actually kind of nice to see her be this open and honest and emotional about it. She's got to be hard to beat, but I did like seeing her just being outright honest, a little bit tearful. Like it was a nice moment.
it was very nice.
Yeah,
And if you wanted any hint that Suki is not winning the season, she got literally the shortest amount of screen time.
she did.
She talked about how she misses her mom every day,
Hmm.
and that this experience for her has been a healing journey for herself. But she also said she wanted to be there for all the Asians living in the countries they were not born in, like
Hmm.
those who had immigrated or had to, for multiple reasons later on in life had to move to other countries, which I thought was very sweet. It's also a little bit of the theme with this season with
Hmm.
in the makeover episode. Well, I forgot what that term is. They were called the women who worked
Oh,
over.
yes, the overseas Filipinos workers. Yeah, the
Yes.
OFWs. Yes, the overseas Philip.
OFWs,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, but last but not least, is Venus.
Hmm.
And Khaled Karen gives her so much praise. She is hyping her up like Anna Locking on steroids. And I wasn't mad at it. It was all good. Venus says she's more mature than she was on her initial season, but is
Hmm.
also more ready to have the crown on her head.
Hmm.
So it was a a mix of new school and old school Venus, I thought. But she gives a ton of praise to Brigiding, as we talked about, and wants to beat the best. That's what she
Hmm.
wants. She, in her own
Yes.
mind, already has it set up that she wants it to be her and Venus because she's assuming there's a finale lip sync. She must have a great reveal outfit. Like she's like ready to go. Um,
She's ready.
and also she had a really cool photo. I thought her photo
Right.
was really sweet.
Because like a lot of people were just staring off in the middle distance, or a lot of people were just kind of like having the humble moment. But she was a
Mm.
little bit more expressive with her little kind of like crown-ish gesture. But it really did feel very authentic. And I don't know, it was kind of sweet. Yeah.
And because of that photo, Evan, I don't know if the queens even realized this was a mini challenge, but someone wins this mini challenge, and who is the winner?
It's Venus Deluxe, of course. Which low key, Greg, going into it, I'm like, there's no way that Venus wins an honest conversation challenge. Whoops, I'm wrong. The photo is the clincher. It's just like the Brit Gala all over again. Who knows what the
Yes.
actual thing is that you're being judged on? But
Um,
either way, yeah, she
and for
wins.
our Slaysian Royale listeners who or and watchers who have not watched Drag Race UK, just watch the first episode of Drag Race UK season 7 just to see the wildness of the Brit Gala.
Know
Like,
how
and
lucky you
also
are.
Marina Summers is a key component of
Yeah.
that. So if you need a tie-in to make it into it. But anyway, Venus gets an extra power with this, Evan. What is her power that she gets by winning this mini challenge?
She gets to, as always, and I think in a fun twist, she gets to take away minutes from someone that is going to head and film parts of their music video sequence. She gets to take away 2 whole minutes, in fact, and uses that power to take away it from who? Arizona
Oh,
Brandy.
we're not. Oh, well, yeah, I was going to say it is. She takes away
Oh,
from
yeah.
Arizona Brandy. But what we also, right before or during this, we also, Mama Pao, for the first time, says that this is the penultimate episode, that there will be another one.
Penultimate!
Penultimate? Penultimate?
Yeah,
And the queens don't seem surprised, even though they'd been pushing the narrative earlier that they were probably in the finale.
yeah,
But we knew that, and they probably knew it, but I don't know why the producers wanted them to talk about how there was one more episode.
yeah.
But anyway, Arizona gets her time taken away because it's improv. And by the way, she is genuinely concerned. I mean, she's not like being over dramatic. She really
Yeah.
wants as much time as she can. But then, Evan, who walks into the workroom non-door door?
Why, I think it's the Queens of Reina, the hot new Filipina girl group assembled by the team over at Wow World of Wonder Records. Thank you
Yes.
so much for the exposure. Featuring Marina Summers, featuring Maxi, featuring Precious Political, Pressure Political,
Oh,
and
and then their manager.
and their manager, Captivating Cat. You know what? Here's the thing, Greg. I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest on here. I know there's some people that have a lot of mixed feelings about Captivating Cat Cat. She was fucking hilarious this entire fucking episode. She played her role to a hilt. I thought she did so goddamn good. It was genuinely she was so great. I was delighted. I was delighted.
Um, I just want to know. I was like, I wrote this like, why is Cat Cat in this group? Like, she isn't a singer. She isn't a dancer. She, and then I wrote again, she isn't the leader. The leader is Marina, who's also a singer.
Hmm.
Precious Paul Nicole can sing and is a
Hmm.
dancer. I guess Marina's also a dancer. And Maxie is the voice. Like, she's a queen of the universe, like,
Contestant, like
contestant.
Viola.
made it. Yeah, like, well, don't you dare put their names in the same sentence. Don't you dare. Maxie's up here. Viola's
I'm a
winning.
drag queen trapped inside a mechanical bear. You see, shut the
I haven't
fuck
watched
up,
the new
dude.
episode yet.
Oh,
Um, oh, I heard
Stefan,
it's
buddy.
bad. I did hear,
It's
by the
actually
way,
I'd say it's the best one of the three, if I'm being honest, and that's not
which
high
is
bar, but yeah.
which is weird because for those people who are not watching UK, I was sent some social reactions from this episode that broke this morning, West Coast time, and a lot of people were like, "Why are we watching this season?"
And you
Which
know
is
what? That's what we do at Worldwide T. We watch it
we
so
do
you
it
don't
for
have
you,
to.
so you don't have
Exactly.
to. Um, but I did have a legit question. You know, Evan, you are our music industry expert on this podcast. You know so much, and you also know a ton about K-pop and J-pop and Asian dance groups and pop groups. How long do you give this group? How long do you think they're going to survive? I'm legit
I-
curious. How long do you think this will be a thing? A year, 2 years?
So, Greg, I'm gonna have to actually toss the question for you. Did the Frog Destroyers make another album? Did
No,
that ha
but they had a reunion tour, sort of, at
Yes,
DragCon. They
off
got
of
back together.
their one album. Right. And so I see a similar fate for them. There's the song High Life, the music video of which is now
Yeah.
available on the WoW Presents channel, featuring not the queens of the actual group, but it is there. And I could see them pushing it. Like, here's the thing. This is a great concept. It's a great idea, but knowing how busy some of these girls are, knowing how they are touring all different places at once, you might be able to get them for an album. You might be able to get them for a short tour. Anything beyond that, I would be surprised by. But hey, strike while the iron's hot. The show's super hot right now. We'll give it a go. With that said, Greg, I gotta actually throw out praise for one thing here because some Drag Race seasons do this, but a lot of times the finale, actual finale episode, is the music video challenge.
Yeah.
Music video and maybe cut it out. I kind of love like this. A couple Drag Race seasons have done this in the U.S., but like I love that the music video is actually the penultimate one, just to kind of get it out of the way. Like I just
Yeah.
kind of love that this is like it just kind of gives it just a little bit more energy, just a little bit more juice and dice. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of a fun idea.
I am slightly concerned about what they're gonna do in for an hour in the finale. Like I don't know what the challenge is, and it might be a long like they might be this episode had a lot of filler where they were like bringing the Reyna back into the workroom and
Hmm.
like that workroom moment is really long. It's entertaining, but
Yes.
it's like double the time as whatever. It's not as bad as Drag Race Brazil when they had one of the legendary Brazilian actresses who we had no idea was in there for 15 minutes, but
Not Bruno
whatever.
Braga.
No,
Anyway.
not Bruno Braga. But anyway, the queens go to record their verses, and Suki has teased that she's very nervous about doing this, and
Hmm.
that she I thought she was fine, but she says in confessional she was in her head. What did you think
Hmm.
about Suki's rehearsal recording?
It was fine. I didn't think it was horrendously memorable, if I'm being
Yeah.
fully honest.
But then Venus starts and does hers,
Hmm.
and I thought she sounded utterly fantastic. I thought she was so good. But then they cut to one of the queens saying she's rushing it at the end. She's not like, you know, keeping it clean or something. And I'm like, I she's singing mostly in English. Sounds pretty great to me. I thought there was a weird narrative this episode of trying to make Venus look like she was not as good as she was. Did you sense that?
I 1000% did. And this shows up later on when we actually get the actual performance. I have some
Yeah.
very strong opinions and feelings. But this kind of feels like in season 17 of US Drag Race that just aired, there's this giant whiz musical Wicked style challenge that they do
Yep.
of like doing a chorus line style parody. And Anya Nerve, one of our favorites who also wins the season, nails the performance. And then in the critiques, it's like, you did great in the performance, but in the rehearsal, it took you some time to get the choreography. And it's one of those things where
Mm,
it's like, what are we critiquing here? Because it's like, what is the final product? Is it the final product or is it the final product? Or are we talking about off-screen behavior? Is that another factor towards it? That's the vibe I got out of this whole segment was just that they were looking for reasons, narrative things to push through
yes.
because very rarely is it they put these little seeds in there and oh wow, they actually did better than you thought. but
Yeah.
that's just how it rolled out. And so I could they telegraphed this pretty blatantly, but also when you're down to four, like you don't really have a lot of options narratively in terms of like will they, won't they, unless you're really going far with playing ups and
Or
downs.
unless one of them is, or two of them are like blowing it. Like if they're
Blick
blowing it,
bricking.
you don't need
Yeah,
any of this. Like, but they weren't.
exactly.
They were all. I thought in general, we'll get to it. I thought they were all good. I thought they were. No one was bad.
I agree.
But they do eventually. Oh, the one other thing I would say is, it was so obvious from Rena. Like Maxie is the one. Like Maxie knows music. Maxie's the one giving the critiques that are like legit music critiques,
Hmm.
and the rest of them are just like. Anyway, but then they meet with the sexy choreographer,
Ninoy.
Ninoy, and his
Ninoy.
midriff showing
My
off those
goodness.
abs. These
Ninoy and
these these
seven. My
these boys know when
goodness.
they come on Drag Race Philippines, this is their chance to get some dates.
I
Um,
mean, what can I say?
I don't know. Anyway, we do find out here though that Suki is not ready for this complicated choreography, and I did actually
Yeah,
think this was pretty This was not easy Drag Race choreography. This was a little
I
tough,
agree.
but it was cool. I thought it was really good. Like I was impressed with what it was.
Hmm.
Um, but also Venus, I thought looked great, and there's whatever. What did you think of the? I'm sorry, I'm distracted by my own notes. Oh, but then we're in the shoot. Oh no, that's later. So, but what did you think of just the choreography?
The choreography, again, I thought it was good because it was challenging, and I think when you think about like a Jamal Sims, when you think about some of the more actually technical,
Yeah,
Hollywood Jade, let's not forget from Canada, it is makes for a better performance overall. Because also when you give Queen sharp moves, you could tell when some of them are flubbing it or a little bit
yeah,
off on there. So if it's going to be a girl group thing, it just the whole thing still felt just a little bit odd because again, we're launching Reina. We're launching this Filipina supergroup, and the entirety of the episode is the queen still left in the season. Like, I kind of like, are
yes.
we going to see Reina perform? No. Oh, they're just here.
No, they're just
Okay. Like
here.
that was the one thing where like I love that they were there. I love that they gave critiques. Cat in the recording studio was really still biting and still like just being a goof. I loved it. But like it just felt odd like we're launching our group and with not their voices. So decisions, but it was still overall a fun episode.
So Suki is up to record her part of her lyrics and her video, her solo video first.
Hmm.
And they basically pull for like to show you how the Queens did them in this one set. We didn't see them like record in the other sets. It was just this one set that they all were at for part of the music
Yeah.
video. And I thought Suki was great. Like I watched it and I'm like, I knew the results of the episode. I knew she was going to be in the bottom, but I was like, how is she? I did not understand. I was like, she's great, but I was like, everyone must be killer, and they sort of were. Um, but
But
I thought
Gray,
she was great, and but even though she was cramping, if you are
she
going
was
to put her in
cramping.
the bottom because she's fucking cramping, that is insane. They did say they never said that's what they did, but it didn't also affect her performance. She was great. I mean, she was great in the recording.
It's
What did you
great.
think?
Here's the thing. I'm new to this whole technology thing. I thought that when cameras are recording at all time, it was just the unfiltered product. I didn't know you could edit out things like the queen cramping.
Yeah,
I didn't know that technology was available to us, but shock and awe. Like it's just like I'm like just that was so just painfully telegraphed. But to be fair, Mr. Gregory Ellwood,
sure.
she's the last international girl. She's taking on the Yuhua role where she's being the narrator, so she's very much has to give
Yes.
it the whole like, well, I'm cramping and I'm confused during the choreography. I'm not catching up as the rest of the girls. I'm gonna have to work really hard to catch up. Like just spoon feed that narrative
Yeah.
gruel to us. Like that she just is in the narrator role, so she acclimates to it well, but not as well as Yuhua. But she's doing what she can.
She's doing what she can. The only other thing I took away from these recordings, because I thought Venus and Arizona looked great and were doing a really good job, was I thought Brigading's outfit looked like a showgirl. I didn't think it was like a music video. And it made me think, did she use the outfit that they told her there'd be a music video for something earlier in the production, and she
Mm,
just didn't have anything else besides that to wear? Because the idea, we'll get to it, but I didn't understand. Like, did that pop
yeah.
to you at all, or did you think, whatever, it is what it is?
No one felt out of place, but it still felt like the classic Drag Race girl group challenge of which here's a bunch of outfits. It's I know it's sometimes hard to
Yeah.
coordinate. Sometimes it's hard to even just build like a small thing to kind of correlate between them. But it really was like, here's my dance outfit. Like that. That's just kind of how it felt. So they made it work for some parts of the video, but otherwise with the sets and everything they had, it's just like hope for the best, girly. Like that's what you're left with.
But next, it's time to go out on the runway, and Mama Pao comes out in this stunning dress. I loved this dress. I thought it was stunning. I thought her wig was a little too small. I think she needed a little bit more hair for the
Because
outfit, for the
when you have that, you
proportions.
need volume.
You
Exactly.
need
I
a little bit of
agree. There was
volume.
just a little bit more of a lift. She loves a
Yeah.
good peel back wig, which I understand, but
Yes.
we've seen diversity, right? Yeah.
But I thought the outfit was the gown was stunning. What did you
Yeah.
think?
Uh, I thought that was stunning, but also I don't know what kind of work she's had done. I just want to briefly talk about how Marina Summers just looked fucking great. I don't know what it is. Again, it's like whatever work she has done, I think was very subtle to a degree, but like she was just serving it. It was just the most beautiful cheekbones. Greg has a thought or opinion on it. What is
I
it,
don't
Greg?
think she had her work done.
You don't think she did?
I
She
think she just
just looks so fucking good. Yeah,
I think she lost like 10 pounds. I
I
think
see.
she
I see.
wanted to get skinny, skinny. And
Hmm.
that's what because I noticed that too, because I was like, I don't ever remember. But also she's wearing a big hair that makes her face look
Right.
elongated.
Ilya,
She
exactly.
knows how to like do it. And I feel like when she was on, especially versus the world, she didn't do that very often. She never had gigantic headdresses really on that
Right.
season.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
ponytails, it was a lot of
Yes.
things like that. Yes. So I fully
She looked
agree.
great.
What do we think about our season 16 winner, Nymphia win? How do we feel about her performance?
If you're not watching the YouTube, both Evan and I had almost the same like facial expression when we brought this up. You know, Nymphia's super talented.
She is.
I was a little worried about what her judging would be when she first was talking with Mama Pao there for a second. But she had an eye. It was almost like she had the idea for the outfit and then couldn't find the bodysuit to put underneath it because she's wearing like a tan bodysuit or
With a
you know
visible neck hole. Yeah.
yes, with this very cool birds, like,
Yeah.
wiring birds around her. That part's super cool. And you've seen her do stuff like this. We've seen her do
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
this before.
It's like a fish
But
thing. Yeah.
listen, she made this. There's no way someone else made this for her. I will give her a million props. But when we've
100%.
seen her like at such heights, it's a little weird to see her like look like she made this the night before in the airport on the way, like from, New York. Or
It's a
if she was in
B-side
Taiwan.
dress, you know? It's not the lead
It is a
single, you know?
B-side dress.
That's
I'm
yeah.
hoping she saved the better dress for the finale because I'm
Well, we've
assuming she's
seen
here
that
for the finale.
already with all of our guest
Oh,
judges
I
on
didn't.
these 2 episode stints where it's just like they always have like the
Yes.
first one, Pangina's coming out in boy. We have a couple other
Yeah.
things, and then for the second episode, it's like wowzer wowzer. Even even our goddess Sasha Colby, she
Yeah.
I thought looked even better on the second episode than the first. So we'll see how it works out.
Um so next the queens come out and there's only four of them and they are the what was the prompt again? It was the awards. It was
Giving award body yada yada,
That's what it was.
which is an interesting phrasing of that, but love it. Great. We're going with it. It's
We're
happening.
going
It's a
with
red
it. It's
carpet
my
moment. It's
business.
what it
I know
is.
awards.
Yeah.
Suki comes out with the Loved One award. I thought this was very classy, very
Hmm.
Suki Doll. This is a Suki Doll Isis Couture gown. Like if someone had just put this on a mannequin, I would have clocked, almost probably close to clocked it. But gorgeous and looked great. It was not spectacular Suki Doll, but I thought it was great. What did you think?
This is the rare kind of dress where it's like I think you and I have seen it before, even on some of the recent seasons that you and I have covered, even in Drag Race France All Stars, which is still
Yeah.
lovely. But times queens can overcomplicate a dress. They can add too many details, too many elements there, and sometimes there's no focal point. For me with this one, there was like the exact level of what you want. It was gold, it was
Yes.
structured, there was a lot of flow to it, but it's the kind of details you can get lost in. You're not distracted by them. Like, yes, I got gold swoop and structure, and I got like all these lovely lacy elements here, but like in the actual material of the dress, there's so many things flowing in and out. It's so wonderfully designed. It doesn't have a pop wow moment. It's just a really, really good outfit, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think also, and I'm going to talk about all four outfits. This is the one outfit that someone would wear to the Oscars. Someone would
Yes.
wear this to the Oscars. They would wear this to the Golden Globes. Up
Hmm.
next was Arizona, and her outfit. Here was the thing. When you looked up close, the print of the material was great. It got a little washed out on the
Hmm.
stage, but I thought that the silhouette was a little simple. And it screamed, and this is not meant as an insult, Emmys. Like it felt very like an Emmys dress to me.
It
And
felt very
I
Golden Globes. It felt
no,
very
no, no,
Cable
it's
Ace
not good.
Awards.
I didn't think it was good enough for the Golden Globes. I thought maybe Marina's dress, maybe Golden Globes,
Yeah.
maybe SAG Awards. But this
Yeah.
was a little like, and I loved the material. And by the way, it was super pretty. None of them bombed the like challenge.
Right.
But that was the one where I was like, if you're going to make the runway count, which I don't think they did, this should have been a little bit of a ding. Like I didn't think it was that awardsy to myself. What did you think?
It felt very Salt Lake Film Critics Association. It
Oh,
felt very
they would
broadcast.
they would they would they would praise their Mormon gods if anybody
Yes.
like
The thing
came
is
to
that like
their ceremony like that.
what I kind of loved about it was the simplicity, because if it was just that pure, like, washed out baby blue kind of style, that would have been one thing. I just love that at the center of the swoop, there was this little, like, little fire heart thing just kind of
Yeah.
sitting right in the front of it. And, like, it just kind of gave it just a little bit more dimension and depth. I'll be honest, I do agree. The fabric itself, when you got into the details, was spectacular. I kind of enjoy that it was simple. Like, I'm not sure if it would pop on a runway. I overall enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as Suki's. Still a solid effort, I would say.
No stylist would let someone wear this to the Oscars. They would
Well, let's
not.
talk about the next look then, because I have my own
Okay.
feelings.
So because it seems like anytime I criticize any of these queens, their fans come out of the word woodwork. Here's the thing. I have been a Brigiding fan since season one. I love her. There's something about her. I've always like been
He's
a
setting
fan.
up the defensive barriers.
But this powder blue prom dress, it's
Mama.
I just and they loved it, and I was just like, come on, Nymphia, what are you saying? Like
I was
in
so
Marina too,
disappointed.
it blew my mind.
I was so disappointed by this one here, because it's one of those things where, having been on television now, you have to know how cheap this fabric looks. Like, the design itself, the color itself was bland, simple, and just didn't
Yeah.
have dynamicism. Unlike Arizona's dress, we can criticize that for being simple. At least the dress had texture and something that your eye could hook onto. This Brigiding look, it's just I was a little shocked, and low key, I even wrote down maybe one of her worst looks this season. I think she's had a pretty great season in terms of
Yeah.
looks, and
She's had a
so
great
we're
yeah.
near the end. You're getting down the last couple and maybe a couple of spares. I was so let down. I was so disappointed by this.
I think what shocked me about it was, and it's not bad, it's just for her, it's like when they get the prompts, this is the one that you should think, wait, they're not going to do this early. They're not going to have like a queen they think is going home in 2 episodes who's going to have a terrible gown, like walk down the runway for this. This is going to be further on in the season. This is the one you have to put a lot of attention to. And I felt like this was one where I don't know if it was dry closet or but it was like, oh, we got that one done, move on to something else. And that's okay. That's life, whatever. But I was disappointed. But what I was not disappointed in was in Venus's so fun, stunning, big, beautiful, jeweled red lips. And by the way, it might be drag closet. Like she might have had this for something else,
It's
but I don't
fully
give a fuck. I
possible.
thought it was great. It was great and it was campy, but it was glamour and it wouldn't be Oscars, but she
Right.
would be one of the three photos you saw from the MTV Video Music Awards with this dress.
That's exactly what I gotta
Like
fucking say. Thousand
she
percent.
and
Thousand percent.
I thought it was so good. I
Yeah.
loved it. I thought it was so great.
Greg, looking back on it now, and like we've had some really, really good fashion girls so far. We've had Suki Doll, who's still here with
Yeah.
us. I do think Venus had the best runway package out of all of them. I really do. I know we're just a little bit away from the end there, but I think that week over week she just had the most interesting, compelling, dynamic looks. Anyway, let's also just have our two most compelling looking girls be at the bottom this week. Oops, did I say something? Sorry.
Yeah, it was sort of weird.
Just
Jeez, why? But let's talk about that because before we go over the judges' critiques, I want to know from you, what did you think about this music video? What did you think about the song?
The song was solid. It was solid. Like it's kind of the standard girl crush thing that you see these days. Couple different sets, a little bit of cinema vision there. It was fine. Overall, I liked Suki's verse. I thought Suki, word for word, line for line, had one of the best verses. There was a critique that happened later on of she had a little bit difficulty connecting with the camera, and I kind of see where that was coming
Oh,
from
I
a
did
little
not
bit.
see that
You did?
at
Okay,
all.
yeah.
No, I blew my
Uh,
mind.
was it me or was Arizona's verse kind of mid? Like, I
I
I I've heard. I mean, when you do the I put a crown on it kind of shit again. Like we've heard it. It's been done. I just was like, especially for her, for someone her level of wit and humor, I just was expecting more zingers, more pop, more anything out of it. I thought it was the
uh,
safest verse out of them all.
I did think it was the safest. I did think she was having my whole thing was I thought Suki, Arizona, or Venus all could have been tops too, and that
Hmm.
Brigiding was obviously a bottom. So when we get to the end of the episode, it sort of blew my mind what happened. And I love Brigiding. Brigiding, if you're listening, I love you. I do not understand this. And by the way, if you go online, a lot of people don't get this either. Like we are not being controversial. A lot of people were shocked by like what the outcome of this episode was. And but I thought Arizona could have been top two, and she was, which is fine. But then, we're skipping Brigidine. I thought Venus fucking killed it. I could not
Thank
believe she
you,
was in the bottom.
thank you.
I could. She was
There
so
was
good. Her verses were good. She sang. She like looked like she was in a
her
music
vocal
video.
variation popped out of the mix so hard, like it just
And
was
it
like everyone's
and her
here and they're rapping like this. She had just oh, it was so good.
and her voice, and by the way, the best voice in the whole song is Maxie singing the chorus. So, but she sounded the best with Maxie out of all four of
Yeah,
them. And I was like, oh, she's got to be top two.
right.
No, we'll get to it, but no. And I just thought Brigadine, like that outfit in the entire music video, like just she popped for the wrong way. Like this is
Right.
not the winner. This is not the like if they'd shot this, the editor of the record label would have been like, show the least of her. She looks the least like of the girl. No, the rest of them at least looked more like music video pop girlies, and I didn't think Brigadine did.
100%. I fully agree. This whole episode, it's the one of the things where I think this season has been doing pretty good about not putting their thumb on the scale for the most part. I thought it's been
Yeah.
pretty good about letting things play out pretty naturally. This is the one episode where it did feel a little, it felt a little bit like Ellipse winning a makeover challenge in All Stars France. It
Yeah.
felt very much kind of and judges randomly like this thing that is just doesn't seem to fit to viewers' reactions. And so it was a little disappointing in that end. Like, any of these girls can take it? I think so. I think statistically it's going to be hard for Suki or Arizona to come out on
Oh,
top
yeah.
personally, but it's the kind of thing where like you didn't have to just make it a cakewalk. You could. I think if you're honest and critical about it, I think you very easily could have had after all of her wins in a row, she has a tattoo, a lip sync right before the finale, and then there's a little bit more redemption on that arc. You didn't. I don't think you need to do that to some of these other people personally.
I did, but that does sort of tie into our first critiques about Suki. And I made
Hmm.
some notes here because first of all, I was impressed as it went on that Nymphia got much better as a judge.
Hmm.
She had a lot of coherent things. She wasn't rambling. She was like, as anyone who watched her season knows, she can sort of like go off on rambles. And I thought she did a really good job here. But she said, and you sort of agreed that Suki didn't have a connection with the camera. I did not understand that because I thought it was the sexiest I've ever seen Suki. She never did anything like this on Canada's Drag Race where I believe that she
At
like was a
all.
pop
At
star,
all.
and
Yeah.
I thought she freaking killed it. But Marina gave her credit. Marina loved the runway, and Mama Pao ended it by saying, you're also a doll with a golden heart, which,
Hmm.
nice. Um,
Yeah,
then
cute.
there was Arizona. Oh, wait, did you have any other thoughts of like the critiques of Suki
Oh
or
no,
no?
not
Uh,
particularly. No.
Nymphia loved Arizona's gown and sees her personality in it, which, okay. And
Okay.
then she decided she loves because she loves the orange, and it's not orange. I don't. And oh, she asks Arizona if she loves orange, and Arizona could give a rat's ass about fucking orange, but she's like, sure, I love it. It's great.
Yeah,
Whatever. Um, Marina liked Arizona's lyrics and going from rapping to singing. And remember, she is the only one that did both rapping and singing. Like she should
that
have
is
gotten
absolutely
like,
fair.
yeah, I mean, so if you're gonna
And they
put her
love
in the
that
top two,
transition. They love that
yes.
transition. Yeah.
Um, and she also thought that she had, really glowed up. And so, okay, if we're judging Arizona on a curve, and that's one of the reasons she's in the top, I'd rather it be more like you loved her lyrics than that you thought she like glowed up, because that shouldn't be a reason to like put someone in the top. But
I
that's
agree.
that's my take. Um, Mama Pao has this moment where she tells her that Arizona does not need to remind us that she's beautiful. You don't need rhinestones or fancy clothes. What's important is in here. I think Arizona must have said something about how she felt so beautiful in this dress, or how she looked.
Hmm.
Um, did you think there was anything else interesting or strange about the critiques for Arizona, or not
No,
strange, I guess?
not strange. It's just the whole like the way you did the transition from singing to rapping. Like, yeah, that was that was solid. It was fine. I just didn't think that vocally she didn't do anything new because it was less about the immediate content of her lyrics. It was just more
Yeah.
about her performing style. And I was always under the impression with some of these challenges that lyrical content had to go a little bit further. So that's why, given that I didn't really particularly vibe with the words of her verse, the critique felt a little stilted to me.
So for Brigiding, Nymphia said she had the best eye connection of the group, and she looked so hot. And clearly Nymphia has a thing for Brigiding. Um,
A lot of people have a thing for Brigiding, let's be real.
I I thought Brigiding danced more than any of the rest of them, but I didn't think it worked in context for the video. Uh,
Hmm.
but it was partially the outfit. Marina loved her energy and loves her trophy and her runway look. Marina was very kind to her season one sister, I thought,
Yeah,
because she
which,
also has to see her.
I give her a pass for that kind of thing.
Yeah, she also has to see her probably every week. Um,
Yes.
Venus is up next. Marina, they talk about the runway first. Marina loves the runway, calls it pure camp excellence, and that it's an entire performance of just her wearing that and coming out on the stage, which I totally agree. Also, we should say she has a Fleshlight award
Hmm.
that she
They
totally
all had
jokes.
awards. I don't think we even mentioned that
Yes,
when you were talking about the critiques. And like I love the wine glass one. But man, that flashlight one
that
was
Fleshlight.
it was on brand. Let's put it that way. I thought it was very on brand.
And she said it was a used fleshlight, but that it is the National Mouth Award. And it meant something to her. And this is why I could not believe Venus told this story, and they still put her in the bottom. She talks about how when she was a young kid, she had saggy lips, and she has a big mouth, which, by the way, is
Hmm.
amazing for lip syncing.
Incredible.
And that it was an insecurity with her for a long, long time, and those insecurities are now her strength because she realized that those lips now are how she feeds her family. That's a direct quote from her, and she uses them to sing and lip sync and to talk shit. And I thought it was so sweet, and I was like, top two or winner. No,
Right. No.
so no. And Nymphia even says it was mesmerizing looking at her in the music video.
Hmm.
Ay,
Anyway,
ay,
you're in the
ay.
bottom for the following reasons, because you can't answer the question as why you deserve to be the next Filipinas drag superstar all-star.
But here's the thing, Evan. Was their answer to the question, why should you be the very first Slaysian Royale superstar, the difference in all of this? Because I do have to say, a couple of them did not have the most inspired like answers for this.
Like who, Greg?
Well, I thought Suki gave the like she talked
It
about
was
what
the
she talked about
pageant.
before.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was I wrote it's very pageant. Brooklyn would approve, but she might also think a little standard pageant answer.
Yes.
Um, Arizona wants to win so she can inspire other people and other local Filipino drag queens. I thought that was a great message. I thought that was awesome. And then Brigiding gets emotional
Hmm.
because we haven't really seen this season because through the show she believes that she now believes in herself and she learned to accept her flaws and trust the process, which was like shocking to me. If anyone knows NBA basketball, that was a Philadelphia 76ers motto that did not work. It did not work. Don't trust the process. It was a 10-year
My
motto that
but my
did not work.
76ers tattoo, I just got it last
Yes,
week. There's a problem with that?
exactly.
That my
Yeah.
one for Starland vocal band. The Cow
Um,
Sills, my favorite groups.
and then I actually have to say, I thought Venus sort of blew her answer. It was
Because she went too
fine.
comic again.
She went too comic.
Yeah.
She basically says, she did say I should win because I am a great representation of being celebrated, um, uh, for their flaws. And she said she represents drag of the Philippines very well. And
Hmm.
it was slightly emotional, but there was something about it to me that was like, I don't think this is what Mama Pao wanted to hear. She wanted to hear something really more deeper.
More substantial.
What
Yeah.
did you think about there? Did that when you heard those, did any of that say to you, oh, top, bottom, winner, no?
It just annoyed me because it's like, again, what are we basing the challenge off of? The whole point
Yeah.
of the challenge is supposed to be a music video and then a runway, and the two people who did the best at it are in the bottom. Like, I'm sorry, it's just silly. It's just silly shenanigans right before the finale. So it just I feel like I'm excited to see it, and again, I still love the season overall. It
Yeah,
just feels a little telegraphed.
a little. But I do love Mama Pao breaking the fourth wall. And she says,
Hmm.
we all now going to take a long dinner break. Which is what they really did. And but they never talk about it on the show. They're always like, well, you do whatever. But they're really taking like an hour-long dinner break. And then she's like, and then we'll come back and deliberate.
Right.
And I just loved it. But then the queens go back into the workroom, and this is one of my favorite parts of the episode.
Oh
They
man.
talk about all the other queens, and I took notes. Evan, did you take notes, or do you want me to
Oh,
go
you
through
know,
it?
I wrote down. They decide. Well, the thing is, they decide to give all the other queens awards. Since it's an
Yes.
award themed episode,
Yep.
and so not only do they, then producers may have prompted them for this, but not only did they give out awards, but also editors had a clip package ready for each of them, which I thought was very, very sweet. So they
Yes.
decide to go in order of elimination. So,
Elimination.
Greg, who is our first queen?
It was Madame Yoko. She gets the Best Pork Chop Ever award.
Mhm.
And as I think it could have been Venus or Arizona, said, because before she entered, she was already packed, which was a line they used earlier. They did not like Madame Yoko, and I feel horrible
Yeah.
still for Madame Yoko. I do not understand what she did to piss these girls off. But they were not fans. But then up next was Something Wong. And she gets what award did she get, Evan? Did you
She
write it
got
down?
biggest mouth, which Venus had a little bit of issue with, but they specifically were talking about how she is had the most to say, certainly. Which you know what, as people who watched the season, we do not disagree.
But I think one of them tried to be nice and said she also had a big heart. Maybe that was Suki.
Yeah,
Maybe Suki was
yeah,
being motherly about that. And then there was Ivory Glaze, who got the most cute and most shady
most
award.
shady. Yeah,
Uh, and that was Venus. I don't know if Venus isn't a fan of Ivory Glaze, but she has thoughts about Miss Australia. And I don't remember them having a conflict in Ivory's 3 episodes, or maybe
I
I'm wrong,
think
or
just
4 episodes.
Ivory complained a lot, and I think that's kind of one of the
Oh,
biggest. That was the thing, which is to be fair, she did at least the stuff that made the edit. So I
yes,
can
that's
kind of
true.
get that. Yeah,
Um, and then Kitty Space was a very strange, like, oh, it was the cat award for
the
like
most
kitties.
cat. Yeah.
Yes. C is for caring, A is for very alluring, and T is for tenacious, which came off for a second. I think Suki looked at her like, what? And I think then she clarifies for hardworking queen. I am
Yeah.
telling you, they thought Kitty was a threat.
Hmm.
They did.
They did.
They did think she was a threat. Or at least the Pinoy Queens did.
Yeah.
And then Bernie, obviously, what
Sweet
did Bernie
Bernie.
get?
She got the biggest heart because they love Bernie so much.
I
She's the
love
sweet, and she is the
Bernie.
sweetest girl. Let's be
I
real.
love
She really
Bernie.
is. So yeah.
She really is. And then, oh wow, we just had to bring it back. Siam Pussy is up. She gets the Spirit Award. And the
Uh,
first thing that I think Venus says is stop chanting. Like she's
yeah.
not in the room when she's telling her to stop chanting.
But also, listen, when they cut to the clip, and I do think it is at this point just fully iconic of
Yes.
I'm safe, please love me. Like, ah, just I just love Siam. I love that the world is getting to see Siam Prushi. She is just incredible. My
You
wackadoo
know,
statement still stands. Most wackadoo award from Evan.
if that had been on the US, that would have been remixed and so many
Oh,
like, oh, we would never have escaped it. It would have been the Miss Vanjie of whatever season. Um, and then Yuha gets what award did Yuha get, Evan?
she got the ugliest wig award. And Greg, I'm not sure if you saw, she did a post, I think it was on either like Threads or Facebook or something like that recently, where there's a photo of her during her last workroom sit down before she has to lip sync
Oh.
and go home. And she talks about, hey, look, here's a photo of a queen at her absolute worst, like had to use the same wig multiple times because she ran out of funds, physically broken into spirit. Like she did this whole thing on her official page talking about how like
Mm,
this genuinely captured her at like maybe her lowest moment there. So for them to bring it
oh.
up again is a little spicy, but you know they didn't know the post, they didn't know that specific
But
uh
also, they did
yeah
say they loved that. Or maybe Suki said it, that they loved that ugly wig and that they
yeah
loved her. They put she was one
yes
of the only ones that they said outside of Bruni that they loved her.
yeah
So I thought that was really nice. Um, and then of course Kiana gets, the most K award, Kiana with a
hmm
K. Um, and then, but they said something, I wrote this down, AKL Turisha Award. Like one of them said something that I didn't.
yes. I didn't catch that cultural reference either,
Yeah,
and I know the people in our comments will, and I would love
let
to
us
hear them
know.
explain it. Thank you.
But
We
again,
will be reading.
we will be reading. But also, I love Kiana, and I
Yeah.
I hope to see her on down Drag Race Down Under versus the World versus Spain versus France
You know, here's the
3.
thing. I mean, all the political countries rallying against the U.S. I will say though that if she does show up on any of those programs, like if she shows up on Global All Stars 2 or something like that, she will do well. Like I'm not too worried about her in that
Yeah.
front, but you know, it's still a very big part of her journey, and I still love her.
And then Reina comes back, and I was like,
Yes.
oh no, not more. Um, but they come in and they want to have a toast with them, but the queens have already been there for 30 minutes and have already drunk their drinks, so good times. Um,
Yeah.
and then one of them says the room was so light, and then they come in and now it's so heavy. I can't remember which queen it was, but I don't think they were thrilled that the Breda came back. Um, the only thing I took from it is that Maxi was jealous or like something about Brigiding and Suki and like them having a kiss. Like I don't know if
hmm
is Maxi in the House of
Why?
Ding?
Why you kiss? Why you kiss?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that was it was.
Is is Maxi in House of Ding?
I don't think
I didn't
so.
think she was. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, are they
yeah.
dating? Did they date?
I
Did
think
I
she just
miss
thought she was a
something?
cute little thing. Everyone thinks Brigading's
Ah,
a cute little thing.
pretty
That's
little
the sense that
thing.
I got. But yeah, it was still really cute. At one point Suki talked about they look good, I look better. Which quite frankly, no lies told. But you know, they
No
were
less
giving
dumb.
soft praise to all the girls, like I'm so proud of you, and like Suki, you're someone who I've admired from afar, and I'm very impressed with what you did. But my favorite thing is when they got around to Brigading and like, oh, look at this necklace. I think I need that. And everyone just swarms Brigading and just takes all of the jewelry out of her outfit. It was like low key one of my favorite moments. It was so stupid. I loved it. It was so good. Uh
The only other thing I took, and it was partially because of back in the workroom, but then back on the panel. Listen, I never want Mom. I shouldn't even put this into existence. I do not want Mama Pao to ever, lead the show. But
mhm,
Marina could host the show. She is so good at this. She is so clear and concise. And I don't know what they're going to do in terms of replacing Jiggly for the next season. But putting Marina there as the permanent judge would not be a bad idea. I bet they
mhm,
do rotating again to keep the viewership up. But she's so good. Like I was really, really impressed.
mhm.
Maybe she could
I agree.
try she could host Drag Race Thailand.
You know what?
Would
I wouldn't be upset. Would not be
be
upset.
upset.
Frankie Wonga, you will be missed. Truth be
So,
told.
Evan, who wins the penultimate episode of RuPaul's Drag Race
Well,
Philippines?
do you want me to tell you who should have won, or do you want me to tell me who actually won this
Oh
episode?
no, tell us who is given their third Ru badge.
Oh, it is no one other than Brigiding. And again, she is still the incredible, adorable,
Yep.
lovely, lovely queen that we fell in love with in the first place, but she wins her 8 millionth badge. She's in the top. She's the first queen going on to the grand finale out of the three slots they allegedly have.
And you know what I wrote? She's
Hmm.
shocked. You're shocked. We're all shocked.
Yeah.
But she's going to the finale. And then who else is going to the finale?
I think it's going to be none other than Arizona Brandy. She's also the second queen to go on to the finale. Hashtag Drag Race PH. Uh, it's interesting again, but now we have a bottom two, Greg. They have to have a lip sync. It's part of the thing. It is Suki Doll versus Vinas Deluxe, and they are going to prepare a lip sync to Power by Morissette. It is the first true proper ballad of the season.
I have to tell you, Evan, I I sort of feel bad for Venus because I feel like they didn't put Venus in the top, even if they were going to give it to Brigiding, because they knew what they had this song, and
Hmm.
they didn't think that it would be as compelling a lip sync if it was Arizona versus Suki. And I got Venus was utterly incredible. Like she destroyed Suki. I had chills watching it. I thought she was so that was a it wasn't that close, but that was a Latrice Royale, like, you make me feel like a natural woman. Like just taking the song and embodying it. I was I thought it was incredible and what a waste for a non-elimination. But like I thought it was just stunning. What did you think?
Thought very similar. It's low key. I got to be honest, Greg. Like you and I have been, I think, probably very critical of Venus Deluxe. I think anything that we've said in the potential negative about her, our fans in the comments have excessively
Oh
cataloged as
yes.
part of the file that they have on us. But most critically, it's just like this whole episode is just like God, I think I want her to win. I'm not even kidding. Like in the
Yeah.
range of this episode, Venus Deluxe truly showed this range of her skills and talents, from costuming to performing to lip syncing to like
Yeah.
just everything that she did was so good. And so like I'm kind of upset, but also I'm kind of glad that at least we got to see this. I just feel bad because having to be in the bottom two right before the finale is never a good sign. It never bodes well.
Mm-mm.
Clearly, the deck is being stacked for Brigading. I have a feeling that's probably what we'll say next week, but I could be surprised, and I would love to be.
I will say that is not always necessarily true if the queen has had a stunning run so far.
Hmm.
So if this was a situation where, like Bob on season 8, where they were in the bottom in the second to last episode,
Hmm.
um, or it was I think Evie was in the bottom, I think, the second to last episode, maybe.
Evie was never. No, she was in the bottom only during the Snatch Game episode.
Oh,
She was in the
I
bottom
thought
three,
she
but
was.
she was never bottom two again. She never had to lip sync again. It was only her two lip syncs with Brooke
Was
and
it
then her one.
Simone? Maybe Simone?
Simone had to lip sync twice
Right.
before she took the crown. So yeah.
But I'm not. Listen, I think there's Breeding has never been in the bottom. Like it would be shocking for them to like pull in Evie Oddly and like have Venus or Arizona win. After that. But I'm okay. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's not like it's a queen who isn't deserving for overall.
Right.
So, but I do feel slightly bad for Venus because I feel like in another timeline she easily would have won this season. But
Hundred
that's my
percent,
take.
100%. Yeah, 100%. But we'll see. We'll see
We'll
how it
see.
we'll see how it plays out. I will say that. Oh yeah. Oh, by the way, the Brigading very obviously. I'm sorry. Venus wins the lip sync, and then it looks like they're going to eliminate Suki Doll, but unfortunately, she just slayed too hard, both the lip sync and the thing, so she gets to stay too. I will say her reaction to that did seem very genuine. I do think that she had this. She was like kind of pleasantly surprised and broke down and was emotional, and I think was kind of upset that she was emotional to a degree. But I thought it was really sweet.
She's not really a queen who likes to show her emotions on camera. Like
Right.
that's part of
Yeah.
her joy.
Her whole
Um,
brand. She's mother. Dag nabbit. You never see mommy cry.
No, but Evan, I asked this
God.
to you. Yeah, I asked this to you every week, and I didn't even know if I should. But one last time, before we get to the finale of Drag Race Philippines Slaysian Royale, who is winning the inaugural season of this World of Wonder exclusive franchise?
So I got to be fully honest here, Greg. I'm going to just put out my 2 cents here. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that it's going to be very much Brigiding who's going to be winning this season of RuPaul's Drag Race Philippines Slaysian Royale. However, I will say that as much as I do stand Suki Doll, I don't think there's a chance she can win. I think
No.
a Venus comeback deluxe. I think that would be such a filling thing because I do feel like nothing against Arizona, but I do feel like Venus has genuinely earned it. I think she is an absolute powerhouse. She got to really show the things that she didn't get to show in season one. So there's that part of me that's hoping that that pulls out here. I just think statistically is very clearly going to be handed to Brigading, which I'm still not mad about. What do you think?
I hope that wherever Brigiding lives, that she has enough closet space for the boxes of year-long supply of cream
Uh,
silk shampoo she will be
mhm.
getting as the winner. That's going to be a lot of shampoo,
A lot of
a lot of
shampoo.
it. And thank God she has hair. So,
Yeah. Hey,
um,
at least she's not winning the dress from Drag Race Holland season one. At least we could be happy about that. I
you
think,
know, I did figure out what my Halloween costume was, but there was a little part of me that's like, one year I need to recreate that dress
the
and
Holland dress.
see if anyone clocks it. Like, could anyone clock it at all?
I'd
Um,
clock it. I'd clock it here on Worldwide
uh,
T, let me tell you.
Also, if you pay any attention to Holland, this is totally random, but we'll end the episode on it because I'm sure five of our listeners watched any seasons of Holland. Senator Jean had some very shady things to say about a queen that was on her first season that she would not name, that she vague booked, that was potentially clearly Janie Jacquet, who she was once friends with, which was a little wild. So if you're looking for something exciting over the next week, go online and like check out all that fun stuff. There's always
Yeah.
drama somewhere in the world with these queens.
And you know where all that drama pools together in a teapot. In fact, in a worldwide teapot.
Yes.
And that's why you will find it here as always. As Greg said, please like us and follow us and do all the things. Follow our socials on Instagram and Bluesky and all the great places. But most critically, as much as we are critical and unabashedly ourselves, we do thank you, all the fans who have been listening and commenting and supporting all the way. Love us or hate us. We do see you there, and we genuinely do appreciate you. We have so much more stuff going on. España and UK and upcoming Canada and Liechtenstein and so many other great seasons
And
that are
UK versus the World 3, where there will be a Filipino queen on. So there's and maybe a Thai queen. There's lots of stuff going on.
it's gonna be exciting times. You know where to find us, everybody, and not a soul can clock this tea. I'll say that much. We will catch you for the finale next week. In the meantime, take care, everybody. Goodbye.